So there was a lot of weird kind of crazy shit going on in the early 1980s, 70s, 80s with respect to rock and roll music. And there was demonic shit. And there was like, oh, the kids got these regressive memories. And, we got these fucking crazy psychiatric people convincing kids that something happened to them that didn't. A lot of weird stuff. Of course, all blamed on Ronald Reagan and you evil religious people. Yes, that's right. Now, Dee Snider was, or still is, the lead singer of the band called Twisted Sister. Now, I was never a big fan of Twisted. I mean, I had to play the songs. I was on the radio and all that, but, we're not going to take it. And I want to rock. Okay. It was, I guess, good, clean fun. It wasn't Beethoven, but we weren't expecting that. But I've never been a real big fan of I've never bought their albums, I guess. But the Parents Music Research Council, somewhere in the mid-'80s, decided to go all in on Twisted Sister because they were evil, they were demonic, they were killing bats in the backstage area, and just being bad people. Now, it turns out they weren't. They weren't doing anything. Weren't doing any of that. Shh. Now, one of the things the author of this video is 100% back-ass words. This was not Ronald Reagan and his minions, these evil Nazis. This was the Democrats. Now, why do you point this out, Hamster? The reason I'm pointing it out is because this shit goes back decades. A little bit of here, a little bit of there, do this and do that. And eventually what they did, they put on these stickers on these records that said inappropriate material or sexual, and which records do you think the kids wanted to get? I am wondering if this was on purpose. Sounds like a big neon fucking flag. Hey, buy this and there's going to be talk about sex and all kinds of shit. Yeah, let's put a sticker on that so the kids know. This is deep, people. This was in 1985. It's almost, 40 years ago? 35 years ago? It's not something that just happened. Oh my God, we got all these crazy people. This crazy people shit has been around for a very long time. Hello, Polish Pony. So let's jump into the video.
Rock and roll was under attack during the mid-'80s. As the music got more theatrical and provocative and MTV gave it a national platform,
MTV is the evil of all. That's what they used to say.
Youth screamed for more.
We gotta keep our children on the path of being good, righteous, and prudent. But fuck religion. The same party, the same socialist. Well, we got to keep our kids here and there. It's all bullshit, is my point. They've been talking out both sides of their freaking mouth for decades. Well, if you want religious purity and all that shit, why did you take that? It's different. But blame the Republicans because they're the party of evil. They're a bunch of... Ronald Reagan is Adolf Nazi Hitler. That's the kind of bullshit we were putting up with in 1982, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It's obvious that pop music was experiencing a revolution it hadn't seen since Elvis swiveled his hips on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Now remember, Elvis doing his hip thing was considered shocking back in the 50s. Shocking. I wonder who was objecting to it. Probably those Bible thumping snake drinkers.
Scared the hell out of conservative Reagan-era baby boomers so much.
Okay, I'll give you that. Maybe it was the parents and not Ronald Reagan himself.
Politicians and their wives, mostly the wives, attempted to clean up the music industry. That's when Dee Snider of Twisted Sister stepped up and showed the world how ridiculous and un-American these attempts at censorship were.
I mean, look at this guy. He's got the hair. He's got the eye makeup. He's got that. You know, in today's times, he'd be probably considered
We're going to take a look at the day Dee Snider of Twisted
transmission. Did I say that?
Sister outclassed U.S. Congress. But before we get started, take a second to subscribe to our channel, Weird History.
Yes.
If you hear or see something you like, leave a comment, or just tell us what unusual music stories you'd like us to cover next. Now, I want to rock.
I want to rock. I mean, look at the boots and everything. Yeah, it's a fucking glam rock. There was Loverboy was doing the glam shit. Bon Jovi, David Bowie. There's all Queen. It was just a phase. It's rocket. It's music. Just music. It's not the devil. It's not demons. It's not sinister. It's just a friggin' song, man.
On September
Parents, music research, or whatever.
19th, 1985, the United States Senate held a hearing where representatives from the Parents Music Resource Center, also known as the PMRC, made of Senators Paula Hawkins, Al Gore, and others, testified.
Now, excuse me. Paula may have been a Republican. I'm not sure about this lady here, but Al Gore was a dyed-in-the-wool freaking socialist. He just couldn't say his thing because it was still the Red Scare crowd. We didn't want to hear about communists, but Al Gore was one of them. Why would he want to do this? Think carefully about that. Why? Would he want to restrict kiddies getting records with PMRC stickers on her? Or would he want to encourage children down the path of degeneracy?
Testified before the Senate Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee on,
unquote, the subject of the content of certain sound recordings and suggestions that recording packages be labeled to provide a warning to prospective purchasers of sexually explicit or other potentially offensive content, unquote.
Their beef.
Now, Tipper Gore was a fucking smoke show, to be honest. It's just, you know, okay. Yeah, sure.
They thought music with explicit lyrics were too accessible to their kids.
Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil. Guy. Who is this? Vanity?
And no, they
yeah, look at all the demon shit in here. Yeah.
We're not going to take it anymore.
I mean, I could imagine me and the boys in the band is like, you know what? Let's write some demonic shit. Sure. What are we going to say? You know, it's such nonsense, but we'll get there eventually.
They wanted record companies to
So
label
shut the hell up, hamster. Okay. All right.
albums with ratings, similar to how movies use the MPAA rating system. The rock community, made up of...
Now, let me just be stupid for a minute. Which movies do the kids want to see who are under 16 or whatever? Just asking the question.
musicians and fans, saw this as censorship and segregation, and they thought they were so condescending, their gall is never ending.
Twisted Sister!
They weren't going
Is that a pledge pin on your uniform?
to take it without a fight.
I want to rock.
That's when Dee Snider stepped in. Not only did he become the powdered face of rock
I mean,
and roll,
clearly this guy's he's a member of the alphabet crowd. No, he's not.
but its savior
It
with
was an act to get attention. My God, their music was barely tolerable. But they had that panache, right? They had something different. That was the whole thing. Same with Kiss, right? When Kiss released their album without the makeup, nobody gave a shit. Why? Because Kiss was different, because they had the makeup. I know.
the grace and intelligence that no
How
one
would
was
you know,
expecting.
Hamster? I was there in 1984.
Snider didn't ask to become the spokesman. He was invited by the Senate to the circus-like hearings to censor rock because, by the looks of him, they thought he'd embarrass himself. They saw the hair, makeup, and clothes and thought Snider was an easy, frizzy blonde target. But when Snider opened his mouth, the Senate realized just how much they underestimated the singer.
See, they were fond of the slippery slope argument back in the 80s. Well, this and that and the slippery slope, and you evil freaking Republican conservative Bible thumpers. That's what Reagan and his gang said. We start doing this, it's going to be a slippery. Oh, you're evil. No, there's no slippery slope over here. Until there is. And then you go down.
Dee's wardrobe, a classic 80s look of cut-off denim, skin-tight jeans, snakeskin boots, a little bit of eye makeup, and of course, big hair. It wasn't an accident. Dee had it all.
It was an act. Dee Snider is actually cool. I think he's got a show on Sirius or one of the, he's got YouTube stuff. Yeah. Hey, he's all right. He's all right.
And out. While John Denver and Frank Zappa appeared before the Senate subcommittee in suits and looked fairly.
Frank Zappa. Looks like a guy who works at Citibank. That's not Frank Zappa. No. John Denver, you expect that. He's going to be all cuddly and you want to hug him and everything. But Frank Zappa? He's got a fucking red tie on. Interesting.
Put together, Snider went in the opposite direction. He strutted into the hearing in a ratty jean vest, a sleeveless Twisted Sister t-shirt, a studded belt, sunglasses, and a head of puffy blonde spiral curls.
And it has been verified that this man has so much testosterone when he walked into the room, all the women were getting damp.
He looked like a combination of Sideshow Bob and solo Stevie Nicks.
But I can't. Oh, Stevie. Oh, Stevie. Yeah, that's true.
All three musicians delivered articulate speeches, but given his appearance...
Stevie was the fucking smoke show back in the day, though. Whoa, baby. Oh! It's like 5'1", just...
Snider's well-presented and meticulous response
Maybe we should do
was
that
a surprise,
one. Yeah.
proving that neither the PMRC nor the committee should have expected an easy debate. He also pointed out he didn't drink, smoke, or do drugs of any kind. What did he do? Snider...
He put together a good marketing plan for the band. And he put together some good songs. We're not going to take it. I mean, it's fun. It's nothing devilish or demonic. We're not going to take it. I mean... It's easy. It's 2 chords, 3 chords, maybe. That's what he did. He's a great marketer. But no, he's from the devil himself. He's the goddamn Antichrist.
Later said he knew his message would have more merit if he kept true to his identity. Okay. Snider didn't want to meet Congress halfway. He wanted them to make
that hairy belly button, though. Oh my God, man. What are you doing?
The effort and see beyond their preconceived...
Can't you at least dye it the same as your hair? I see your roots, baby.
Antiquated notions.
Now, I have to admit here, full disclosure, the band that I really disliked, the hair band back in 1982, Quiet Riot. I fucking hated Quiet Riot. I hated them. I have such disdain for Quiet Riot. I don't even know what the fucking songs they sing anymore. I don't care. I hate them. They were horrible. They were just this condescending pile of bullshit. Oh, yeah, we're rock and roll too. Sure. Not to me, though. I'd rather, listen to paint dry. No. Anyway, go on.
When Snider talks about his day in front of Congress, one of his big wins, according to Dee, is when he got a rise out of Senator Al Gore. The beauty of the jab was that Snider...
I mean, that's an amazing feat there. Just that. He actually got him to pay attention, and Al Gore was the vice president of the United States from 1993 through 2000.
He used the words of Senator Gore's wife to...
Tipper, how you do
it. In his open testimony before the Senate, Snider directly addressed Tipper Gore's contention that Twisted Sister's song, Under the Blade, was sadomasochistic and about bondage. The song, according to Snider, was actually written for the band's guitar player, Eddie Ojeda. who was about to undergo surgery for the removal of throat polyps. Tipper Gore, however, claimed there was an underlying sexual message in the lyrics. Your hands are tied, your legs are strapped. A light shines in your eyes. You faintly see a razor's edge. You open your mouth to cry. After deconstructing the meaning of the song to Al Gore, Snider told him,
Ms. Gore was
And here comes the money shot.
looking for sadomasochism and bondage, and she found it.
The room went quiet for a second, and all you could hear were the clicks of photojournalist cameras and a rumbling of laughter. Al Gore seemed to be thrown off his game, too, simply replying,
Yeah.
and then moved.
She likes to get all she likes to get her freak on, Al. Maybe you should invest in some of those items to make her happy.
Moved on to a different line of questioning. Snider later told the Huffington Post that he enjoyed the raw hatred I saw in Al Gore's eyes when I said
He's a fucking idiot. He didn't care. Clearly.
Tipper Gore had a dirty mind. Hair Rock 1, the man 0.
Yes, sir.
One of the reasons why Dee Snider and Twisted Sister were so prominent on the PMRC's radar was because of their 1984 video for their angst-filled teen anthem, We're Not Gonna Take It.
I mean, yeah, it's horrible. The poor children. Don't you care about the children? It's a fucking joke. The whole video is just a joke. It's
Oddly
gags.
enough, the PMRC didn't have as much of a problem with the song's lyrical content as it did with the violent content of the video. The violence is about as serious as a Bugs Bunny cartoon, but not quite as funny. Snider thought so too, and admitted in his opening remarks that it was his inspiration.
The video for We're Not Going to Take It was simply meant to be a cartoon with human actors playing variations on the Roadrunner Wile E. Coyote theme. Each stunt was selected from my extensive personal collection of cartoons.
Snider insinuated that the PMRC confused the lyrics with the video when it came to the intent of the song, pointing
They
out
didn't fucking care, D. They just wanted to demonize you into being some devil-worshipping fucking Satan. That's all they cared about. But go on.
that there was no actual violence mentioned. Several decades later, We're Not Going to Take It has become an anthem for Republican and Democrat politicians,
Exactly.
teachers striking for fair wages,
Good
and
hook. Yeah, it's a good song. Just it fit right in where it's supposed to fit.
charities like the United Way.
Meow.
Chalk another one up for the glam rock.
Yep. All right. There we go.
During his opening remarks, Snider was able to call out Tipper Gore on one of her lies, which she thought would strengthen her case. According to reports, a few days before the hearing, Tipper said that she was repulsed by a Twisted Sister t-shirt that
Well, that doesn't look like Twisted Sister. A Tipper. Sorry.
she had seen recently.
Oh, is she one of those blue-eyed, brown-eyed persons? Oh, okay. All right.
Snider highlighted a statement from Tipper Gore saying, "You look at even the t-shirts that kids wear and you see Twisted Sister and a woman in handcuffs sort of spread-eagled." Snider called her accusation
It's an outright lie.
Because
telling-
it was. It was bullshit. You think it matters if you're lying in Congress, if you're a member of Congress? Of course not. Come on now.
the committee that
Not only have we never sold a shirt of this type, we have always taken great pains to steer clear of sexism in our merchandise, records, stage show, and personal lives. Furthermore, we have always promoted the belief that rock and roll should not be sexist, but should cater to males and females equally.
he
Exactly. Yes, she had to protect the women because reasons and stuff, and it didn't actually happen. Fucking shock. Remember, people, this was 35 years ago. It's not new. You hear these people fucking lying like they breathe, and you think it's something new. It's the new woke. It's the new this, and it's not new. None of this is new. It's all bullshit.
challenged Tipper Gore to produce such a shirt, and when asked
Of
about
course, she couldn't because it didn't exist. What a surprise.
it again by Senator Al Gore, the congressman clarified for the record that the word t-shirts was in plural, and one of them referred to Twisted Sister and the other referred to a woman in handcuffs.
I guess it depends on how you define the word t-shirts. You silly fuck. You imagine this guy almost became president? I mean, Bush is no fucking prize, but this guy, holy Jesus.
Snider stuck to his guns, insisting Tipper was referring to Twisted Sister before Senator Gore changed the subject. Semantics. Another win for rock. There was a point where a member of Congress called Snider out for his parenting skills and whether or
I
not...
wonder if we did a survey of the Senate and the Congress in 1985, how many of these old fossils do you think are still in the Congress? Just wondering.
The singer would know which music to keep from his underage son. Snider gave 3 options. First, he'd look at the cover.
Well, quite simply, as a parent myself and as a rock fan, I know that when I see an album cover with a severed goat's head in the middle of a pentagram between a woman's legs, that's not the kind of album I want my son to be listening to.
Bingo!
Right.
Second, he'd read the song list and lyrics.
If I read a title on the back of, say, somebody said Ice Cream Castle, a title called If the Kid Can't Make You Come, whatever it is, I realize that's a sexually explicit song.
I would agree, yes.
Looking at the cover, looking at the lyrics, looking at the, I should say, the titles, that should cover just about all bases.
Finally, he'd listen to it.
The few albums that do not express their intentions on the cover or in the song titles, I think a parent could take it home, listen to it, and I don't think there's too many retail stores that would deny them the ability to return the album for something different.
Another clear and concise response from rock, unlike the flimsy allegations from Congress.
Yeah, well, we can't have that. This guy's a dunce. He's a drug-addled Satan, semen guzzler.
I'm going to give this round to Snider.
I'd say.
Snider identified himself as a Christian when he was speaking to Congress, a fact the committee members jumped on to try to discredit him. Snider's band, Twisted Sister, had a fan group that went by the name SMF Friends of Twisted Sister. Senator Gore asked Snider about the group and what the acronym SMF meant. Snider replied that it stood for
The Sick Mother Friends of Twisted Sister.
Is this also a Christian group?
I don't believe that profanity has anything to do with Christianity. Thank you.
Senator Gore went on to say,
he doesn't even know what to say. He's such a fucking dunce cap. He's NPC. When NPC wasn't cool. Look at this guy over here. He's like, that was pretty good. Yeah. You kind of roasted him, didn't you?
That,
yes, Al Gore. Almost president of the United States. What?
it's just an interesting choice because I was getting the impression from your presentation that you were a very wholesome kind of performer, and that is an interesting title for your fan club.
Now, here's where things get crazy. Because Al Gore got exactly what he wanted. And Tipper. Stickers on albums so the kiddies would want those albums.
How kind was time to D. Snider and his accusers? Let's see. As far as the PMRC's rating system is concerned, an album with a parental advisory sticker on its cover usually meant more sales and higher chart positions for all offending bands.
Well, who'd have thunk that? Who'd ever figured that one out? That just blindsided me from Crazyville. Yeah, you put stickers on a thing and you restrict it to the young people, they're going to want it more. Now, what was the ulterior motive here? Protecting the kids or exposing them to evil shit? Just curious.
In an MTV interview, Skid Row's lead singer Sebastian Bach even said that his band used to hope their album's explicit content would earn them a coveted PMRC sticker.
There are some bands that put in a few fucks and a few this and a few XYZ just to get the sticker. Do you get it? Do you?
It became a badge of honor. D. Snider and his wife have been together for well over 40 years, married for most of them, and have 4 children who each have gone on to enjoy successful and respectable careers in the entertainment industry. Meanwhile, Ale and Tipper Gore separated after a handful of vague rumors
Oh,
about
Jesus Christ. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. It must have been the 2000 election. He's like eating her face. What are you doing? I need to show you I love my wife and I'm not gay. But I thought.
separated after a handful of vague rumors about growing up.
Oh, Jesus Christ. People, you need to know the history at least a little bit.
Hard
Look
and
at
not
this.
seeing eye to eye on the former
Okay,
senator.
the hug, I would go for the hug. But the eating her face off with your tongue thing, no.
There's Hollywood spotlight.
Doesn't matter.
They're still lazily
we love each other. Oh, my God, look at us. We're just about to become the president of the United States. Oops, didn't happen.
married, but they date other people
But
now.
as bad as George Bush was, this guy would have been so much fucking worse, people. This guy would have been.
As for the record industry that backed down so easily at the
Association of America. What did they do, sir?
threats of the PMRC in Congress, it's a shell of its former self. Physical albums have become novelties in a world driven by downloads.
I have a few.
Yet, warning labels still adorn individual track listings and albums online. So what do you think? Do you want to rock or do you want to rock? Let us know.
What I think is they intentionally did this bullshit to get the stickers on the records so that young people would buy them. They would demand them. They would seek them out. Not to say the Twisted Sister did any demonic shit, not that I know of, but do you see the little steps forward? All seemed like a little thing. Nobody really cared. Oh, yeah, we want to protect the kids. See? It all strings together, people. Might not seem obvious, but it does. Anyway, thanks for listening, you guys. Take care. Bye.